So let me tell y'all the consequences of doing a freezer spell.
Put that man in the freezer. Go ahead and put him in the freezer. I know you're looking at this.
I'm going to tell you guys the story of when I came across frozen spells in someone's freezer. Okay, that's the story that I want to share with you. Frozen spells are these spells that people are doing.
Put them in the freezer. Someone pissing you off.
Minutes. So, because I don't trust people like that, into the freezer they go. So what you're going to need is a
Hey, my love. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk to you about something I'm sure you've heard about, especially if you're active on TikTok. We're getting a little witchy today and talking about freezer spells. Here, we listen, we absorb what information we can, no judgment. I went into a rabbit hole the other night and I want to share with you what I found out. Stick with me. There's a certain kind of frustration that doesn't come from enemies, it comes from whispers. From your name being spoken in rooms you've never stepped into, people dissecting your life like it's public property. And sometimes you don't want revenge. You don't want chaos. You don't even want confrontation. You just want silence. That's where the idea of a freezer spell comes in. Not fire, not explosions, not drama, ice, stillness, pause. It's the symbolic act of taking someone's words, their gossip, their interference, and putting it on ice. Phasing the energy, phasing the behavior, phasing the excess. Now, whether you believe in folk magic or not, the psychology behind rituals is powerful. When someone decides, your influence over me ends here, that shift alone can change everything. So today, we're talking about phaser spells, what they are, how they're done, and why so many people swear by them. Enjoy.
Put them in the freezer. Someone pissing you off. Put them in the freezer. Someone hurting you. Put them in the drawer, then put them in the freezer. Someone doing you wrong. Write their name on a piece of paper. Fold it 3 times away from you. Put it in the jar. Put a little bit of water in it. And then stick it in the freezer. This will stop them from causing harm to you. I got a couple people going in. I'm not messing around. Get in there. Trust me. You can thank me later. Works every time.
Bye.
And we do know that we don't only have to freeze people, right? Anything you want to stop, you freeze it. Any problem you have, you can freeze it. And it's extremely easy. I don't know why we make it like witchcraft is so hard. It's not that hard. It's not hard. You can literally freeze any problem. You literally just have to write it down. Get a little container, any Tupperware or anything like that. A little container. Put some water in it. Put that in it. Put the note with your problem in it. Described fully out. And throw that in the freezer and leave it in there. It's sure to stop. The problem is going to stop. Witchcraft is not hard. Y'all making it hard. I just had to tell you. Please, like literally go put... You're having a problem right now. I know it. Go put it in the freezer. Immediately.
Put that man in the freezer. Go ahead and put him in the freezer. I know you're looking at the screen and being like, put him in the freezer. I got you. I'm back as your 37-year-old TikTok mommy who loves the woo-woo and everything in between. So let's do some witchy stuff and break that soul tie. Here's what you're gonna need. Number 1, a Tupperware, glass Tupperware, something with a lid. Number 2, a piece of paper, regular paper. Number 3, a pen. This one has red, which is what you're gonna need. A red pen, marker, something with red on it, okay? No, it cannot be any other color. Red. If you're really down bad, the other colors will do. But red is what we're looking for. We're going to write his name on this paper. Him, her, whatever. I'm using a man in this example. His full name, okay? We're going government on him. First, last, middle, the whole 9. Bonus points if you have his birthday. Take that paper and fold it 3 times away from you. Always away. Fold it away. We don't want him to come in. We want him to leave. Take said paper and put it in the jar. Can, Tupperware, whatever this is. Fill it with water. Put the top on. Set your intention that you want your soul tie to break and you want this person away from you permanently, or at least until you take it out. Put this in the back of your freezer and forget about it. When I tell you this works every single time, girl, I'm not lying. Put him in the freezer. Works every time. Bonus, if you ever decide to take it out, you're inviting him back in, okay? Don't do it in my opinion, but some of you don't want to listen. I love you.
Hello, corporate inmates. For this video, I am your corporate witch, Christine. And someone came fucking with me yesterday. And while I do always practice boundaries, I also like to take extra precaution when somebody is being extra trifly, because somebody complained to my boss yesterday that I didn't respond to an email within 1 hour and 40 minutes. So, because I don't trust people like that, into the freezer they go. So what you're going to need is a Tupperware with the lid, a blank piece of paper, a red pen, and then I also like to protect myself when I do this, so I use a selenite wand. You're also going to need water. So I am not doing the freezer spell in real time right now because I still feel salty about it. So I wait till I'm not feeling negatively charged, because I don't want that to get mixed into the freezer spell, because I never want to cause any harm. And right now, about 50% of me is still wishing this person a burning case of fucking gonorrhea. So this is just for like a tutorial, but I'm not actually going to put Doug, my nemesis, in the freezer just yet. I probably need like another day or two. But what you need to do is clear yourself with your selenite wand and just say something that you are clearing out negative energy and that you are protecting yourself, and wave this over your entire body, all the nooks and the crannies. Then what you do is you're going to write the person's name down, first and last name, in your red pen, and use a clean sheet of paper. After you do that, if you have their birthday, that makes it even more effective, but you don't have to have it. And I don't have my coworkers' birthdays. These fucking inmates, I don't really care. But you fold it then after you write their name down, and you fold it 1, 2, 3 times away from you. Then you take the paper, put it in the Tupperware, close it after you fill it with water, and then into the freezer you go. And until you're ready to deal with that person again, you don't defrost them. We don't want these fucking people out. And again, I do one more clearing of myself just to make sure, because I never want the negative energy coming back at me. Try it.
When you put someone in the freezer, they're going to leave you alone. If you want it to be a temporary thing, put it in temporarily. When I say leave you alone, I can't tell you what's going to happen if you put your boss in the freezer, but you still have to go to work tomorrow. I bet you're still going to see your boss, right? We're not hurting anybody. We're just asking their energy to back off of us. It's not going to just magically get rid of people. However, in having the intention of actually writing a name down and putting it in the freezer, you and your behavior will start to manifest in a way that is going to push them away. You put them in the freezer. Basically what you're doing is putting some of your fate, the parts you can control, like your boundaries, back into your own hands. That's why spells work. The same with beauty spells. I've definitely seen people talk about different love spells, honey jar spells. I think just do you. That's the best spell. If he's not into you, find someone who is. Shira told y'all.
The consequences of doing a freezer spell. There are none. Go put them in the freezer. Go put that bill in the freezer. Put the amount, say that it's paid in full, and go calm your nervous system. That's what the freezer spells are for.
Update. Check in. So yesterday I took the night off from my midnight job, and I only did that because I wanted to go to my niece's graduation, right? Now, my niece, she lives about 2-3 hours away from me. So, of course, I needed to take that night off, because who finna drive back 3 hours just to come to work? So, it ended up where I wasn't able to make it to my baby's graduation. Like, and this is my only little snook. But I requested that night off, right? So, when I spoke to, Karen, my boss, we'll call her that, she told me that I was not able to come in last night because she was like, I already did the schedule. I don't know nobody that wouldn't want they employee to come in if they had requests. It was a request. I requested. It wasn't like you had me off for that day. That was the day I was supposed to work. So, of course, I didn't go in last night. I enjoyed my day off, and I went to bed early. Tell me why I received a call from her at about 7:34 p.m. and she left a voicemail. Now, baby, you already told me not to come to work. You done told me enjoy my night. The schedule's already done. So, I thought you had to go to your niece's graduation. I said, yeah, but I'm not going to be able to make it. It's at like 9 in the morning. I don't get off from here until 6 in the morning. There's no way I'm going to be able to get off and drive 3 to 4 hours to go see my baby graduate. And still, it is what it is. I can come to work. Well, her reply was, enjoy your day off. The schedule's already done, and that'll put you at such and such amount of overtime. Why do it matter how much overtime I had, baby? You was doing like 70-some hours a week. Now, I told y'all I ended up putting her in the freezer, right? She called me at 7 o'clock at night on the night she told me not to come because now she told me her blood pressure is dangerously high and she wasn't able to come in this morning. So who do you think she called? Me. She wanted me to come in for my midnight shift last night that she told me not to come to enjoy my night because that would have gave me too much overtime. So she didn't come to work today. So not only was it like, you know what I'm saying, the whole like shaking and shit, and then you talking about you couldn't smell, taste, and it went from that to next thing you know, you talk about your blood pressure is dangerously high and you cannot return to work right now. But you called me to come in for a shift that you already told me. Don't worry about it. The schedule already done. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know the freezer spell was going to do all that. I did not know. And like I said, I do not wish harm on nobody. So, with that being said, my ancestors, they done took it a whole nother route. I guess they said, well, we going to make it so that she don't come back to work. Now, I don't want no hurt, harm, or danger to come to anybody. So, like I said, please be advised. Do not do the freezer spell. Don't put nobody in a damn freezer if this is not something you really want. Okay? Now, call me what you want, but you can't call me no evil person. You cannot call me I'm not a devil worshiper. I did not do it with any ill intent. I didn't know it was going to go from her, being sick to, taking a week off to then she came to work the next day and then she was shaking and she looked like a corpse. I'm just gonna be 100. Like, she did not look good at all. And I did genuinely care. I genuinely checked on her. And when she called me last night, I just knew I knew it. I told you to let me come into work. I said, why can't I just come in for my shift? If I requested it off, I'm resending my request. I want to resend it. Oh, that'll give you too much overtime and the schedule's already done. But you called me at 7 o'clock at night because you need me. Now you need me. Now you need me. So I didn't get to talk to her till this morning because now it was just wrecking my brain of why are you contacting me on my day off and at 7:35 at night. And when she told me that, she sounded really bad. She was like, my doctor said I can't do anything work related right now. My blood pressure is dangerously high. Baby, when I tell you I hung that phone up, I was like, I said, Lord, I didn't know all this was going to happen. But fear not of evildoers, for they shall soon be cut down like the withering grass. You see, you got to understand, what you put out is what you get. I didn't do this with any illness or hate in my heart. I did this because I simply was just crying out like, Lord, please help me. You see me trying, and I'm already having a hard time working 2 jobs, raising 2 children, and still trying to keep my sanity. God, I need you to protect me from the elements. I need you to protect me from my enemies, seen and unseen, known and unknown. And I guess he just, said, well, she ain't coming to work for a while. Put it that way. So freezer spell, yes, it works. It works. It works. Especially when you believe, especially when it's coming from the heart, baby, when I tell you. And then it's crazy because when I did it, the same day as I did it, I started my cycle. And a tear or two fell into the glass. I sealed it with the tear. And I was on my cycle. And I read Psalms 91. And I cried out to God. And I cried out to my ancestors. Only the ones that mean me well. Only the ones that mean me well and have good intentions for me and my lineage. And it worked. So I won't be dealing with her for a while. But I will say this. God, I don't want anything bad to happen to Karen. We'll call her Karen. I don't wish sickness or illness on anyone. I don't wish that on nobody. That's my heart not set up like that. I just wanted to put her on pause for a minute. I didn't know all this was gonna happen. Comment down below if y'all have any questions. But most importantly, if you really, really want to know what I did, comment down below. I'll let you know what I did. Word from word, step to step on how I did the freezer spell. Don't use this if you're not serious. Don't do this. This stuff is real.
Since we're on the subject of freezer spells, a freezer spell is not just about stopping someone. Most people think a freezer spell is just to shut somebody up or stop them from moving, but at its core, it is a binding. You are tying that person to consequences of their own actions. Whatever they sent out, whatever they did, you are locking them in it. They cannot escape what they started.
How to intentionally reverse freezer spell
Here's a small
rituals.
tip if you believe you're under freezer magic. If you don't know what freezer magic is, Google it, or right here on TikTok, if you put in freezer magic, you can find out all you want to know about freezer magic. Many of the collective are under some level of freezer magic, and freezer magic, some of the signs that you are in some type of spell work that has to do with the freezer. You might be dealing with slow income. You might be dealing with a freeze on things that you know that you are diligently working on. What I do is I take some water, purified water, sprinkle a little salt in there. The salt, I usually use Himalayan or Celtic salt. I put it in the water and I speak to the water. I tell the water that whatever has been frozen, whatever is in any freezer with my name, with my future, with my inheritance, with my divine masculine, I begin to speak to the water and its frozen state. And after I speak to the water, I take the water, which I have already did just for purposes. The water's already started to melt. I wait for the water to in the pot to come to a rapid boil. Now, rapid boil and boil is different. A boiling water and rapid boil is different. I wait for the water to be at a rapid boil. I set that cup inside there, and I begin to intentionally speak to the water and tell that if my name is in any freezer, that it's going to melt. It's going to melt. And I'm kind of petty, you guys. I watch the water melt. I watch the frozen ice melt. And while that ice is melting in this rapidly boiling water, I begin to talk to it. I begin to say, you thought you had my finances frozen. You thought you were going to freeze my destiny. You thought you were going to freeze my divine masculine from coming in. You thought you was going to freeze the highest good for coming into my life. You thought you was going to freeze, the highest good. I mean, anything that I believe that someone of ill intention did in freezer magic, I began to talk to this water. And I began to say, you're going to dissolve. The spell work is dissolving now. It's dissolving now. My fortune is coming to me now. My finances are increasing right now. My divine masculine is moving, and he is beginning to shift. He's beginning to come alive again. Yeah. And then once that ice is melted, now this cup will probably take about maybe, I want to say about 20 minutes in this type of hot water to melt. But I'm talking. And when that water becomes, when that frozen state becomes liquefied again, I pour the water out in the toilet and I flush it. And I believe that water will go right back because water moves. But that's how I deal with kitchen magic that has to do with freezer. When someone puts your name in a freezer and tries to freeze you, and this is spell work. All right? Rule of thumb. If you are someone that uses freezer magic in this way to hurt, harm people, you cannot use that. You cannot take spell work off of you that you put out. And you try to change somebody's fate or hurt somebody through jealousy or dark magic, you cannot use this. It will not work for you because you're actually getting karma. And for all you little witches, that's what you're receiving. Because a lot of you guys use the craft just because you're jealous. You're low vibrational. And for the collective, this is a great way to intentionally return something back to sender. I hope that helps you. Make it a great day.
When my former person came to my house to tell me he had been seeing someone new, as a courtesy, when he left, he asked me, "You're not going to put me in the freezer, are ya?" Because he knows I'm a New Orleans medicine woman. I do this stuff. I said, "No, darling, you don't need any help from me freezing out love. You're a master at doing that. And besides, I could not interfere with his free will. He's free to do that. Have his own experience. That's not any of my business. That is God's business. However, I did put me in the freezer. I put my feelings, I put my rage, and I put my love. I put my sadness. I put all of those toxic emotions that he left me with, that I had been really struggling to move forward from, into this little jar, and I put it in the back of my freezer. And do you know what? 3 days later, I feel fucking free. Ritual works, especially when you do it on yourself, because it signals this is not magic. This is manifestation. This is working with your own psyche, working with your own subconscious mind, which is responsible for 95% of your reality. Let me say that again. Your subconscious programming is responsible for 95% of your reality, including your emotional state, your thoughts, your feelings, and what you are creating and what you are attracting. So when I put my feelings, all my toxicity that he left me with, projected onto me, into that jar and froze it out, my subconscious mind got wind. It got the message in a big way because it wasn't just a thought, it was rooted in ritual. That, oh, okay, this is what's happening. There's no more rage. That's toxic. She had a heart attack anyway. We don't want that for her. Oh, that love that she's been carrying around for that man for a year and a half, that she's not able to detach from. Oh, that's in the freezer now. We can stop that subconscious programming. We can get her off of the train. We can get her out of the loop. It does not happen immediately, but it happens fast. So if you're looping, if there is something that you are not happy with in your body and you want to get a little bit, you want to get your hands dirty and get a little witchy, come join me for She Who Rises, because we're going to do this stuff for 30 days. We're going to rage. We're going to get out of it. We're going to feel our feelings. We're going to own our feelings. And we are going to get back to a place of love and softness. That is the beauty. That is the divine feminine. The divine feminine is not always soft. And when her softness is betrayed and shit on, there's real rage there. And if you're still in but they had childhood trauma, fuck that, so did you. It's time to feel that and let that fire, let that rage move through your body, out of your body, so you can let go of that toxicity and move from one place to the next. Rage has purpose. It is sacred. But you can't stay there. You can't stay there. Softness, love for yourself, for others, compassion. That is where you need to fall. That is where I want to take you in the She Who Rises Challenge. It will shift you on a cellular and spiritual level. And when your subconscious mind shifts, your entire world shifts with it. And that person that you want back so badly, they're not coming back until you detach. And when they do, you better be prepared. All right? Go check it out. Early bird pricing ends in 4 days. I love you. I'll see you in there.
You don't like me, do just what your nigga do and suck it up. See, one thing about me is 2 ways I'm not going. That's back and forth. Especially with a bitch who nigga eat ass. Fuck you, hoe. And stop calling that nigga phone while we together.
Okay, so this is an update on the freezer spell I did on myself. So if you see in my other tutorial, it was a freezer spell I was doing on myself. And let me tell you, that shit was successful. The same day, it actually started working. Now, I don't like to put my intentions out on the internet because I don't want nobody else's energy to interfere with it. But yeah, that shit worked like ASAP. And I feel like it was that rosemary. The rosemary gave it the that it needed.
If you're doing love spells and they're not working, it's because you're doing it on the wrong day. Monday, connected with the moon. That's your intuition and feminine power. Great day to do a love spell that he only thinks about you. Tuesday, connected with the planet Mars. Binding spells, obsession spells, desire, passion, all of that. Wednesday's connected with the planet Mercury. That's communication. Talk to me nice. You want him to text you more? You want him to call you more? Wednesday's the day. Thursday's connected with the planet Jupiter. I want you to think about longevity. I want you to think marriages, commitment. Friday, easy, Venus. Attraction spells, come to me spells, beauty spells. Saturday, it's connected with Saturn, third party removal. Or like if you want to banish any like arguments between y'all two. Sunday, connected with the sun to be successful in a relationship.
I want to tell you guys the story of when I came across frozen spells in someone's freezer. Okay, that's the story that I want to share with you. Frozen spells are these spells that people are doing. They've become very popular. You put people in a freezer and you freeze them so that you control them. You manipulate their free will to benefit you. And that's basically witchcraft. I know that it's very popular, it's modern, and people are adopting it, but it's basically witchcraft. Why is it witchcraft? Because witchcraft is basically when you control things so that you have a particular outcome. You gotta understand spirituality. People who are practicing witchcraft are also calling it spirituality, but it's witchcraft in the sense that it's the kind of spirituality that is witchcraft in the sense that it's control. Anything that is control, be it manipulation without actually going to performing rituals is witchcraft, because the other kind of spirituality is where you just let things be and exist and allow God or whatever you call that powerful to take control. You get what I'm saying? So there's a person that I came across, is a friend that I had just rekindled friendship with. Somebody that we had hiccups in the past, and I came to the conclusion we were better off not being close. But then when the person came back into my life, it had been years. When the person came back into my life, I was like, I think sometimes I'm too judgmental, so I'm gonna give this relationship a chance, and I worked really hard to make the relationship work. So by the time that I came across these freezer spells in their freezer, it was towards the end of the second year after we rekindled the friendship. Sasa, when I came across the spells, I had seen them online, so I knew what it was. And also, I was already aware that the person practices witchcraft, and I became aware within the 2 years that we came back together. But when the person disclosed about them practicing witchcraft, they had said about, it's a funny story. They disclosed the information about them practicing witchcraft. It was about their husband, something that they did to their husband. And it is so funny. So when I came across these rituals in the freezer, at first I was like, I want to see who has been frozen. I want to see who has been frozen. And then I thought, but I don't want to fight with this person again. I don't want to fall out again. I'm too tired. I'm tired of falling out with this person. So I will leave it alone. When I left the place, I was remembering it, but then I would tell myself that I was convincing myself that it's the husband who is frozen in that freezer. That's what I tell myself, even though something was just telling me who was that frozen in that freezer.
See, my love, one thing about me, I always have you covered, from what a freezer spell is, to how it's done, to the possible consequences, hell, even how to reverse it. At the end of the day, a freezer spell isn't really about ice trays and folded paper. It's about boundaries. It's about reclaiming your peace when someone won't stop inserting themselves into your narrative. It's about choosing calm over chaos, distance over drama. You don't have to believe that a piece of paper in a freezer controls someone's mouth. But you can believe in the power of intention, in the power of saying, I refuse to engage. Sometimes the real magic isn't in the ritual, it's in the decision. If you enjoyed this deep dive into spiritual folklore and symbolic practices, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. I hope this gave you clarity, perspective, or at least something interesting to think about. Enjoy your day, and may all unnecessary noise in your life stay permanently on ice. Ice sparkles.